It's been a wonderful platform to be here, Anu. This all through this entire lockdown, more than 100 sessions we've had together, and listening to various speakers. It's been a great privilege to be on this platform. So I think this is the fourth or the fifth time we are here again, where I'm either moderating or talking on the topic. Yes, we were to speak on You Inspire, but we're keeping that for later. And me and Anu, we discussed it, and this topic was something which was really kind of the need of the hour because of the kind of screen time that people are spending these days in the last 3 months of the lockdown. I think sabki aankheं काफी उन्हें तकलीफ दे रही है, so there was a need of an eye doctor to come and speak. Thank you so much. I will go straight to my topic. Thank you viewers on Facebook also who are listening us live right now. And Anu, I would like to share my screen.
Yes, you can go ahead and share.
Can you see, guys?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So the topic, as we said, it is everybody able to see? And
is everybody able to see?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So the topic for the day is Sight Pe Charcha, and we shall move from here. Let me see whether, yeah, okay. So guys, eyes, like we human beings, we perceive this beautiful universe around us by our 5 senses, and we are all aware of that, you know, by sound, by taste, by touch, by our sight, and you know, by smell. So out of these 5 important senses which help us perceive this entire beautiful creation of the divine, eyes is one of the sense. You know, can you imagine, can you just keep your eyes closed for even half a minute? And it is so difficult. Just imagine not being able to see this beautiful creation. So we, and first and foremost, should be immensely grateful that we have been blessed with sight. We are able to see. Yes, there are people facing a lot of eye problems. Nonetheless, it is one of the biggest blessings to be born with these 2 wonderful you know, eyes which help us sense this beautiful you know, world around us. So the eyes not only help us see this wonderful creation, friends, but it also helps us express our emotions, our feelings. You know, if you look at any face, I think that one of the first you know, expression, or the first thing that catches your eye is the eye of the other person. And eyes really speak, you know. There are so many different emotions that you can pick up in a person's eyes. So that is one of the things, you know, yeah, very important role that eyes plays. And there has been such different kinds of you know, variety of eyes, if you look around in the world, expressing themselves. And also it is perceived as an organ of beauty also. Moving on, there's a very famous quote by William Shakespeare, who once said that eyes are the window to your soul, which indeed is so, which I believe. Before we move on, like, let us have some basic, let's try and gather some basic information on eyes. Okay, let's go to the anatomy. It's going to be a very small, you know, video which I'm going to be playing, and then I shall continue to talk. Next comes the oil, which is a transparent curved leg that is glass. Entering the eye. The center of the eye
Neve, the voice is not coming off the video, properly.
No voice, no voice.
No voice.
What happened? You can't hear anything?
No.
Nothing? Oh, I didn't hear you guys say anything about it. You can't hear this video at all?
No.
No, no at all.
From the start?
Yeah.
Okay, then I think I'll skip it because I thought you guys were able to hear it.
No, you can put this video in the group so everybody can watch it, or you can send it to me and then incorporate it.
Okay, I didn't, you should have just told me the start of it. I didn't know that you guys, because it's very clear, loud and clear at my end. So I thought you guys are able to hear and see it clearly.
No
Okay,
problem.
so guys, some basic information about the eye anatomy, like right from the eyelids to the eyelashes. This video is basically giving you the anatomy of the eye in a very simple, basic way. Talking about the conjunctiva, the cornea, the pupil, the iris, which is responsible for the color of the eye. Then we have the lens, then the retina, where basically we have the photoreceptors, and then we have the optic nerve, which carries the impulses to the brain, and the brain interprets the various objects that we see and lets us know what we are actually seeing. So let's skip this. I'm sorry you couldn't hear the video and I had no clue about that. So we are going to be talking about Vision 2020 in the year 2020. So you must have heard this, the vision 20 by 20 is a normal vision, or 6 by 6. You must have heard this, the normal vision of a person. And whenever you walk into your doctor's chamber, basically what you're going in for is your visual acuity testing. And this is the Snellen's chart. This is the kind of chart that you see in your doctor's chambers, where you check your eyesight. Your vision is recorded. And in case if you're not reading the 6 by 6 line, then you are less than your normal vision, and then we need to look into what are the reasons for the same. So basically, this is the Snellen's chart, where the normal vision is 6 by 6, and if you fall short of that, then we need to look into the reasons. Why are you not having a normal vision? What do you mean by 6 by 6 or 20 by 20? Is basically to in UK and in India we use the feet chart, so it is 6 feet, and in US basically they record it into 6 meters, and US they record it in feet. So that is 20 feet chart or a 6 meter chart, and that's how it is, either 6 by 6 or 20 by 20. Let's look at the causes of poor vision. Basically, why is it that we see blur? Okay, why don't we have a clear vision? One of the most commonest cause for a poor vision is a refractive error. Or it could be corneal abnormalities, or there could be any lens issues the person has. Glaucoma and squints also cause poor vision in people. There could be retinal problems or optic nerve damage. Moving on to refractive errors, which forms one of the most common cause of poor vision. So a person could be short-sighted, which we call it as myopia. This person has difficulty in seeing objects which are far off. Or people could be suffering from farsightedness, which is called as hyperopia, where they have difficulty in seeing the near objects. Then we have presbyopia, which generally happens at the age of 40, where you have a difficulty in seeing the near objects. At 40, a number basically splits into two. You have a distant number and a near number because your accommodation is basically weakening with age. Then we have astigmatism, where there is irregular curvature either of the cornea or the lens, which gives rise to an astigmatic number. So moving on from refractive errors, we can correct the refractive errors either with the help of glasses, or we can use contact lenses, or we can get a LASIK done to get rid of your number altogether. Then corneal abnormalities, there are various. You can have corneal opacities, there could be dry eye problem, there could be any trauma to the cornea, any acid alkali burns, various allergies and infections can also cause corneal abnormalities. And once the cornea loses its transparency, it becomes, it develops an opacity. Then it becomes very difficult to have a clear vision. Lens issues, friends, can be cataracts, dislocation of the lens, any lens rupture because of any trauma or any accident. And once you develop a cataract or any kind of opacity in the lens, then your vision also drops. Glaucoma is another cause of poor vision. Glaucoma is nothing but increase in your eye pressure. The normal range for an eye pressure is 10 to 21 millimeters of mercury. Like we have blood pressure, we also have eye pressure. So the eye pressure has to be within this normal range. If the pressure is high in the eye, then what happens is basically the increased pressure causes damage to the optic nerve. And once your nerve starts getting damaged, then you have an irreversible damage, and you lose your eyesight, and it can eventually even lead to blindness. And this can run in families. It has a genetic predisposition, glaucomas. Retinal problems, there are lots of retinal problems. People can suffer from retinopathies because of diabetes, because of hypertension. We have age-related macular degenerations. People can develop retinal holes or detachments. Tumors can also occur in the retina, or there can be photoreceptor damages. This first image basically is of a retinopathy, where you can see tiny hemorrhages on the retina over here. Then this image is of basically a macular burn. When you see a solar eclipse with naked eye, this is what happens. You get a macular burn. Then this is, here you can see a detachment. The retina has detached, and hence the vision drops. Or you can develop tumors also in the eyes. Optic nerve damage, friends, can happen either because of glaucoma or because of various toxicities. Like it can be because of nicotine, because of smoking, because of alcohol, especially menthol. You have these stories which come up in the news where, so many people lost their eyesight in village because of, because of the hooch. They go and drink all this toddy and mari, which is really not good alcohol, and that causes damage, permanent damages to their optic nerves. Even nutritional deficiencies, be it B12 deficiency or vitamin A deficiencies, can also cause a lot of neuropathies. And of course, various drugs. There can be also certain side effects of certain medicines which can cause an optic nerve damage. The nerve can also be inflamed. There can be hypoxia or loss of blood supply to the nerve, which causes atrophy, and tumors in the brain can also damage your vision. Most common issue in today's times, as far as eyes is concerned in the OPD, is today dry eye problem, friends. You can say there's a pandemic of dry eye issues today. Initially, we did not see so many people with dry eye problems. Nowadays, even children are coming with dry eye problems. And this is because of the increased screen time. Most of the children today are in front of the laptop or on the tab or cell phones, and their exposure to blue light is really extremely high, and that is causing severe dryness. What happens is when you're looking at these gadgets, your blink rate goes down. Normally in a minute, 14 to 16 times you would blink, even without realizing that you're blinking. And blinking is an extremely important function of the eye, because with each blink, you have the tears coming into your eyes. And when you are staring at the gadgets, what's happening is that you are basically not blinking. So less tears are coming in, plus there's evaporation of whatever little tears are there in your eyes, and that causes severe dry eye problem. So the blue light exposure also, the blue light has a detrimental effect on your hormone, your melatonin, which is your sleep hormone basically. That is also affected by the blue frequency, the blue wavelength of the light. So many a times people have sleeping difficulties these days because there's so much on the screen. So your brain is interpreting it as a daytime. So we require blue light during the daytime, and that blue light basically is giving a stimulus or a message to the brain that yes, it is daytime. This is the time to be awake. This is the time of activity. This is the time to go out and walk. But as the sun goes down and our exposure to blue light goes down, and we have this melatonin secreting, and that's the time we start feeling sleepy, drowsy. It's time to go to bed. But we continue to expose our eyes to the blue light, and hence that message that it's sleep time is somewhere you're cutting that off. And that's the reason many people are having sleep disturbances today. So dryness and has become one of the most commonly seen problem in the IOPDs today because of extensive usage of these gadgets. Also now with the schools going online, many parents are coming every day. My OPD these days are full of kids who are coming because either they're blinking too much or they have so much of drying. There's photophobia. They can't tolerate light because there are hardly any tears in the eye. And we have to put these kids who are like 5 years old and 6 years old on lubricating eye drops, so that is also because of these exposures. And now with schools 5-6 hours going online, it's really becoming a big problem for eye care. So friends, moving on from this, what is it that we can do? Something basic things I would like to say. Simple thing like washing your eyes 3 to 4 times a day with plain tap water is a very good thing. Please don't rub your eyes, don't touch your eyes. Okay, the more you touch your eyes, more you're inviting infections into your eyes. Okay, you're touching at so many places, putting the same dust or putting the same bacteria or virus into your eyes, and you're going to be getting infections. Lubricate your eyes with eye drops which are prescribed by the doctor. Don't just go to a medical shop and buy over the counter lubricants and start putting it, because there are various kinds of lubricants available in the market. What is it that you need? What kind of a dryness is your dryness? Because there is various kinds of dryness, whether it is quantitative dryness, it is a qualitative dryness. Only when a doctor examines you, he knows what exactly do you need. So please go to a doctor, get your prescription for your lubricant eye drops, and then you start putting your eye drops. When you are on screen, when you are working on a laptop, or you're going to be exposed to your cell phone for a very long time, increase your blink rate. This can be consciously done. It's a very simple thing, because we don't blink, we stare at these gadgets. Have this consciousness, have this awareness that yes, I need to blink, because with each blink you're going to be getting in some more tears in your eyes. Reduce your screen time to the needful. Whatever is needful. Yes, these gadgets are very important. Today we are connected to each other thanks to these gadgets. Yes, they make our life very easy. We have easy access to so many things. Technology is absolutely wonderful and great, but abusing it is really detrimental to our own eyes. So reduce your screen time to the needful. And also one very important thing in eye care is, friends, remove eye makeups. Many of us put kajal or eyeliners or mascara or eyeshadows or whatever it is. See to it that before you go to bed, you remove all of this. Also, people who wear contact lenses, please don't go to sleep with your contact lenses on. Don't forget to take them off before you go to bed. I don't know how much is this video going to really play. These are certain if Anu, let me know if you can't hear it, please. Then I will skip the video. Okay.
Okay. We can see it, but not really hear it.
Basically, there's music in the background.
But then it's okay. Just allow it to be. People can read it. They can see it.
Okay, so those are a few of exercises which you can do. It doesn't take much time. Bete 5 minutes in the morning or evening, you can do this so that it not only improves your blood circulation, it also relaxes and exercises your eye muscles. Like you go to the gym and build your muscles, you can. These are small, delicate muscles of your eyes which can be toned, which can benefit by these simple exercises. Then coming to food for eyes, like, there are certain foods, there are certain vitamins that are really required for the eyes. Not that by eating this, your numbers are going to go away. Many times people feel, oh, if I eat these foods, then maybe my number is going to go away. So the food for the eyes are basically vitamin A, beta carotenes, omega-3 fatty acids, and antioxidants. Okay, so vitamin A directly, it's this vitamin you get directly from basically dairy products, from fish, from egg, from liver. These animal sources are a direct source of vitamin A. But people who are vegetarians, who don't eat any of this, then they get their source of vitamin A from fruits and vegetables. Okay, but that is a provitamin. You don't get directly vitamin A, you get beta carotene, which needs to be converted into vitamin A in your body. Okay, so like carrot, papaya, beetroot, pumpkins, tomatoes, spinach, kale. All these are these are plant-based sources of vitamin A or beta carotene, and animal sources, like I said, fish, your cheese and dairy products give you that. Omega-3 fatty acids also help you in dryness. Like you can have flax seeds, you can have walnuts, you can have fish. These are all rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Yeah, and antioxidants, of course, lutein, zeaxanthin is good for especially protecting your eyes from oxidative damage, especially your retina. So these are the kind of food that you need to include in your diet. And of course, resting your eyes, good night's sleep is really important because your eyes need to rest, and decreasing your screen time is extremely important. So friends, this was just a brief overview what we had. There's lots more to eyes. We can't, because we're just having a short session on just giving you an overview of possible eye problems and the most common ones that we all are facing in today's times. And like I said, there's lots more to this than meets the eye. So this was a short, brief overview. And in case if you have any questions, we will take it.
Yeah. So hi, Nev. I have a question. My eyes are constantly watering. This eye, which is the right side, is constantly watering.
Okay.
And I seem to be, I never have worn spectacles, but right now I suddenly will be able to see everything and then not able to see anything the next day. So it's like 10 minutes back, everything was fine. 10 minutes later, even if you put a big letter in front of me, or I can't even see the person's face properly. I can't make out where's the eye. Everything looks double. So what could be the reason for this?
See, Anu, one is that post 40, most of us require reading glasses. Okay, you're not wearing glasses as of now, so probably you definitely required the near number. And since you're not using it and you are using a lot of gadgets and you're working on computer and you're working on your laptop and your cell phone, there's something called as accommodation spasm. Your muscle goes into spasm on repeatedly. It is overworked trying to see the near objects without any assistance of glasses. So beyond a point, it's kind of into a spasm, and hence it becomes very difficult to focus on different objects. When the muscle is relaxed, it's not into spasm. So that time your vision is good. You wake up in the morning, you feel things are fine. But as the day goes by, or as you're more tired, there'll be times when things will be blurred. Then you might feel the need of glasses, but then again, you next day morning you wake up and say, no, I think things are fine. Yesterday it was bad, but maybe today it's good. And then ऐसे करते करते आप 6 महीने 7 महीने निकाल दोगे, because there are some good days and some not so good days with the sight. So that's a very clear indication that yes, you need to get an eye checkup, get your glasses. And watering, yes, again, watering is a sign of dryness. Now this is a paradox, because doctor say, the patient says my eye is excessively watering, and doctor says, oh, you got a dry eye. Saying, what is this? I mean, how can it be dryness when I'm complaining that it's excessively watering? So now this watering is basically a reflex watering. Okay, so what is happening is that there is so much of dryness that suddenly the brain gets a message from the eye, oh God, there is no tears in the eye, it's dry. Suddenly the floodgates open, like it's a dam bursting, and suddenly the water is thrown into your eyes, and then it can't retain in your eye that where extra water is all flushed out. And then you feel, oh, there's so much of water coming. Okay, so then there has to be continuous supply of water to keep it moist, and not like a sudden release into the eye. Okay, because that's anyway wasted, it's all flowing out of your eyes. So people who complain that there is tearing of eyes, in fact, are suffering from dry eyes, and the efferent afferent pathway is kind of broken. And that's why we need to give them lubricant eye drops to establish that, so that that normalcy can be established in your tearing. So currently that is happening. So two things for you: you will need lubricating eye drops, and you will need assistance of glasses. Yeah.
that's called aging gracefully.
Yeah, so you're welcome to the club now.
Thank you. Wonderful. Anybody else has a question, please?
Yes, good evening, Dr. Anu. Good
Hi,
evening,
hello, Dr. Kwesi.
Good
How are
evening,
you?
Dr. Kwesi.
I'm fine. I'm enjoying your sharing, dear colleague. I'm so excited that another eye doctor is sharing.
Tell me. Good
Yes,
to have you here.
And both of you, you also know the Lucia, well, let's say the psychosomatic color diagnostic system, because you can also wonderfully explain what Anu just shared with the presbyopia. Because I've broken it down to the categorical system. And I remember there was one, I don't know which number of the sessions it was, where I could see how Anu was struggling to read what was on the screen. Yeah, and
Crazy, it's called AIDS.
and because we can precisely say what it is about, because it is, for those of you who've done also the color psychosomatic with Anu, it is plus yellow minus blue. Yeah, so it means your focus is on the future, because what is happening right now in the present, you can't cope with it, and you don't feel connected. The mind is blue. In your environment right now, and that is happening now in the lockdown, where
belongingness is an issue, and you're looking for free.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So that also fits absolutely why Anu is that having now, because the question is, why do people get it at certain age? It might be that someone gets it beginning 40, the other one end of 40, beginning 50. Then you can say, okay, because of computer work. But the question is, what emotional underlying cause is also adding to it, besides all the near vision stress that we're going through. And that's very interesting if you can find out when it happened. And with Anu, it was, I say, beautiful, because it is recorded and you could really see when it happened. That was, I've never seen something like that. I know, Anu, that it's not nice to call something like this fascinating. You know how I mean it, yeah?
Yeah.
So with all the vision stress that we are going through modern times with this computer work, we also always have to look, is there also an emotional cause underlying the situation? Yeah, and what you said, Dr. Nivvedita, is so precise, because you really have to differentiate what kind of dry eye, because it seems simple and it's very
Yes,
complex.
absolutely.
Yeah? And the beautiful thing with this color diagnostic is that we've got the 3 layers of the tear film. Yeah, the mucin layer, water layer, lipid layer, and each one you can correlate to a color. The water layer is blue, the mucin layer, glycoprotein, is yellow and green, and the lipid layer is red. Yeah. So when you've got somebody who has got a disorder of the lipid layer, you know the underlying emotional issue is self-confidence. Somebody who's got a problem with the water layer, then you know it has to do with the color blue, feeling of belonging. And those who've got the problem with the mucin layer, then you know it has to do with the self-entitlement, yeah, green and yellow. Yeah, so that's
Right.
how I'm working with it, because with simple diagnostic, you can find out which layer might be, okay, not simple, but with diagnostic, you can find out which layer might be affected, and then you get to the emotion. Yes, so that's the other beauty, because tears are always also expression of emotion.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's why I find it wonderful that you share this, because a lot of people say, oh, dry eye, tearing eyes, it's nothing big, it's just so small, you just take some drops. But there is always a huge, huge story behind it. Yeah, and if you
Yes.
start dealing with something like that straight from the beginning, then maybe other issues that might be more severe won't come up, might be prevented. So that's also preventive.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Dr. Nivvedita.
Thank you, Dr. Kwesi.
Thank you, Dr.
And
Kwesi.
yes.
There is a person on
Any other question?
There is a person on Facebook who is saying, my eyes get tired very easily. What should I do, please? Her name is Rita Kapoor.
Eyes get tired, fatigued very well. First, you need to find out why are they getting fatigued. Is she getting enough sleep or not? One of the most commonest thing is that if you are not resting well, if you're not sleeping well, then that is one of the most commonest cause of fatigue. So if anybody whose screen time is like 8 to 10 hours, okay, and is not really resting well, they need to first see to it that they're well rested, they have enough sleep, and also if there is too much of fatigue, like I said, it could also be because of dry eye problem. It is better to start lubricating eye drops, because that also helps keep your eyes fresh. But before that, you need to really diagnose with a doctor what kind of an eye, what kind of a dry eye is she basically suffering from. Yes.
Wonderful. Anybody else for a question, please?
Yeah, me, can I talk?
Please go ahead, Darpana.
Dr. Nivvedita,
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, whenever I go for a eye checkup, my specs number keep changing very fast, like 7, 8 months, again and again the number is increasing. I don't know
How
why.
often?
Maybe 7 months, 8 months, it
Okay.
changes.
Every
Whenever I go
7.
for a specs checkup,
Okay.
I want to, because I can't see, I have to squint my eyes even while I'm putting the specs on.
Okay, so can I ask you how young are you?
I'm very young, 66 years old.
Excellent. So, and have you undergone any cataract surgeries, or you're still not there?
No.
Yeah,
I
so
had shown it. They said you don't require
okay,
cataract.
so constant change of power is a sign of early cataract also, because your lens is going through changes. Okay, the opacity is beginning to get there. Maybe it's not very apparent, but it is developing, and that's the reason your numbers keep changing every 6 months. Okay, so maybe on an eye checkup, the cataract is really not showing. It's a very early cataract. It is subclinical as yet. You can't really pick it up, but the very fact your numbers are changing, that could be one of the reason an upcoming cataract, or it could also be fluctuations in your sugar levels. Are you a diabetic?
No, I'm not a diabetic.
Yeah, because people
I
with
keep checking.
people with diabetes whose sugar levels keep fluctuating, they also have this frequent change of numbers. Okay, so if you recently got yourself checked for sugar, it's good. If you're not and it's been a while, I would advise that please go ahead and get your sugar levels checked.
Okay, achha, theek hai. Is it because I teach also, I'm too much reading work is there. for children, you know. I'm reading the books and explaining.
Mm.
Is it because of that?
No,
Too much
no,
reading?
no, no. Too much reading will
Okay,
not cause your numbers to
okay, ठीक.
change. Even if you read, I mean, numbers should not change every 6
Hmm.
months for that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can continue to read. Don't stop your reading. That's not the
No,
cause
no.
of your numbers
I
changing.
teach
Yeah.
children, no, so too much
Okay.
taxation on the eyes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah. So
thank you. I'll
just
do the needful. Yeah.
yeah, just keep a check on the up. Maybe
Hmm.
there's a cataract coming up, or it could be
Hmm.
your sugars fluctuating. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, doctor.
Yeah. Welcome.
Sometimes sugar fluctuation may not mean that you've got diabetes. It could just mean that the sugar levels are going up and down.
Okay.
So,
Achha.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So anybody else for a question? Anybody else with a question? You can either put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself. कमाल हो गई यार, सवाल ही नहीं है आप लोगों के पास. डॉक्टर बैठे हैं सामने, सवाल पूछ लो. Don't have a question?
Nivvedita, I wanted to ask you something
Yeah, Archana.
about LASIK surgery. There are a lot
Yeah.
of people, doctors who advise LASIK, but do you think it is safe, or क्या side effects हैं उसके? Young children, students, they want to really get into it, you know. So I'm not able to give a right answer to that.
Yeah, see, first and foremost, if anybody is wanting to get a LASIK done, your first question has to be, why do you want to get a LASIK done?
Mostly beauty is the thing. Glasses नहीं
That
लगाने.
answer is very important to a consultant. Yeah, so agreed. So that's the most important question. If people are just wanting to do it for cosmetic reasons or to really get their, you know, they don't want to, they hate wearing glasses, you know, or the numbers are so high that, you know, the glasses are causing a lot of problem sitting on the, you know, on the nose, the weight of the glasses is too much. So people who are wanting to go for it for purely cosmetic reasons, these are people who don't mind, you know, even if a little number is left behind, have to compromise with their vision, because the whole idea is to just get rid of their glasses for cosmetic reasons. There are other people who find it difficult to handle their glasses. Okay, maybe the workplace, you know, where they're working, if it's too hot, it's too cold, the glasses are fogging, or the numbers are too high. So whatever reasons that they have their own reasons. Okay, so LASIK is a extremely good procedure. It's not that it's the technology wise it's a great procedure to get your numbers out or chuck your glasses, but it has its own, it's not for everybody is what I would say. First and foremost, you need to get a complete thorough checkup. You need to get yourself investigated and see whether you fit the bill. So only on the age, yes, people need to be 18 plus to get a LASIK done. That is one of the first criteria. Second, your number needs to be stable. Is your number stable, or is your number still galloping? Is it going up every 6 months, 1 year, and it's not stable? Then you have to wait for your number to be stabilized. If it doesn't stabilize, then the chances are post LASIK, again, you will get a number because you have a galloping myopia.
Yeah.
Or a pathological myopia where the number keeps on increasing. So this clarity you have to give to the patient, that in spite of doing this, your numbers are going to go up. You're not going to be completely, going to be spectacle free. So this, yeah. And then people who really have very high numbers, like there are people who come to with -8, -10, who are absolutely when they so handicapped when the glasses are not around. Yes, it's an excellent procedure for them. But after a complete thorough check, like I said, they need to fit the bill. By that, what I mean is pre-LASIK workup, where you do the pachymetry, where you do the topography of the cornea, where you find out whether the corneal curvatures, how thin is the cornea, whether it is absolutely, that there is a minimum requirement of the thickness of the cornea. So once you have all these parameters in place, that there is no keratoconus, and the patient is not having any systemic illnesses also. Patient going through pregnancy or any hormonal changes, we don't take them off for LASIK. So once you've cleared them out of all of this, then yes, the person is fit to undergo LASIK.
Okay.
But nonetheless, it's a procedure where you are weakening the cornea. You are weakening your natural cornea because you are ablating it, you're burning it off. And what is basically LASIK doing is, it is doing the job of a spectacle or a contact lens. So you are remolding the shape of your cornea, and that cornea starts acting as your glasses or your contact lenses, okay, so that you can chuck your glasses or lenses off. So it is basically restructuring. And that's why it is very important that, yes, taking all safety parameters into account, then only you advise a LASIK surgery. Also, people with severe dry eyes problem should not be going in it, because LASIK induces dryness also, because it is damaging the corneal nerves. So 3 to 4 months, sometimes even 6 months, people have severe dry eye problem. They have to keep on putting lubricants, especially my patients who come from Dubai or UAE, where the climate is extremely arid climate, you know. They constantly keep complaining that they have this night vision problem, they have this glare problem because the eyes become so dry. So after giving all this information to the patients, only then they should give their consent, after having understood what they are going in for. And I'm not somebody who pushes my patients for LASIK. If somebody comes to me for a LASIK, I completely educate them on what are the do's and the don'ts and what to expect, and then they make a informed choice whether they still want to go ahead with LASIK.
Thank you, Nivvedita. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. That was very, very informative. Anybody else has any question, guys? Nivvedita, can I request you to pick up one case study that you have on any one specific thing which could really interest people? Something like with the eye vision that you had, or surgery that you had to do, or anything like that?
Okay, so I will make it very short and sweet. One is a very funny thing that happened that will be a little humorous. There's a guy who came maybe really 16, 17 years back, and he had absolutely good vision. Okay, we examined him and all. He said, I've come for LASIK. We said, okay, fine, let's get you examined. And he was absolutely fine. Not only 6'6", he had 6/5. He had more than normal vision. So we said, what do you want to get done? He said, no, I want to get a laser done, a LASIK done. But I said, for what? You already have a good vision. He said, no, I want you to do laser and spoil my vision and make it poor and make it 6/60. So I said, this guy is mad. He's gone out of, people come here to get their eyesight okay. Nobody comes here to get a good eyesight bad, you know. So he said, just do it, doctor. You know, that's what I've come for. So I said, sorry, we as doctors are here to help people get good vision and not take away their good vision, which they already have. So he said, no. And he said, money is not a problem. Whatever money, how much of a money, it's absolutely fine. I'm even willing to give a blank check. You put in the amount what you want. And he was not from here. He was from abroad. Okay. So I said, I'm extremely sorry. Please take, we will not be taking this check. We don't need the money. We are not here to be doing this kind of a job to spoil people's vision. So then he said, okay, fine. And he was very disheartened. I said, but before you go, I would like to know, why would you want to get something like this done? Okay. Why are you here to do this? So this guy was working in the armed forces abroad, and he was on a contract, and he had got so fed up of doing that job and living that army life. And one of the criteria is that if you don't fit the bill, if your health is not okay, or you can't see well, and they have these annual checkups, right? So if you fail the test, then they say, with all retirement benefits, we let you go. So he would get his money, he would get all his perks, he would get his benefits, he would be also chucked out of army. So that was the reason he had come. Okay. And then he says, but anyway, doctor, once I'm out and once all that is sorted with my army, I'm again going to come back to India, and then you can again restore my eyes to 6/6. I said, it's not that simple. Once you're already lasered your eyes and your cornea is burnt and gone, you can't again But mind you, I'll tell you, after a few days, somebody did do the surgery for him. So that's a sad.
Oh my God. You mean he actually
I
did?
would not like to take the names of this thing, but yes, in Mumbai, he went to somebody, got it done. Yeah. So that was one thing which happened, which was really kind of freaked me out actually. And another story, if you want me to share, is yes, I have operated on the senior most citizen of this country, 106 years old.
Wow.
who had a cataract. He had a bilateral cataract. He couldn't see a thing. He was literally carried like a baby by his son in his arms and got to my clinic. And very fragile old man, and his whole body was shaking. He could neither stand. His head was moving constantly, and then his son says, he can't see, and I said he's got a bilateral cataract, hypermature, and we need to get it operated. And trust me, I didn't know how I'm going to operate him, and like people had to literally, like I had one person who had to hold his hand and had to finish the surgery ASAP without wasting much time. It was like, go in, get the cataract out, put the lens in, come out, and then he was so thrilled because maybe for years this gentleman was not able to see. It was difficult for him to go to the restroom or even eat food, not knowing where, what is on his plate and all of that. And when I opened his iPad in the evening after the surgery and he could see me, and those tears, I mean, it was like a new birth for him to be able to see his son, to be able to see me, and tears were literally rolling, and he was blessing me, constantly touching my head. And that was a very overwhelming I was very overwhelmed by his gesture, and I was so happy that we could do that. In fact, Times of India covered it. The journalist came, wrote about this, and all of that. So yes, it was a very proud moment. So that is one story. Yes. So these two stories, and of course another one is like the research work which was done on preventable blindness in rural India, in children especially. We have a lot of children in the rural area of our country who suffer from night blindness. They suffer from because of vitamin A deficiency. So I had done a lot of camps in the rural area and had a lot of data, and this was presented in the Europe at the ESCRS conference in Paris, and that time I had won the Orbis Award for my paper. So it was given the best paper award, and there was a lot of appreciation for the work and all of that. But it was definitely not a very proud moment for me to stand there and tell the world that children in my country can't afford a carrot a day, and they go blind because of that. So when I came back, there was a lot of, oh, our area doctor, and our this thing, and people wanted to take interviews, and people wanted to uh, felicitate me and give me all these awards. And I said, look, I don't need any of that. If you guys who are in power today and can contribute to this society, all that you can do is provide a good midday meal to these children in the rural area, where they get their vitamins, basic nutrition. We can avoid all of this from happening. Yes.
Sarita, can you unmute yourself and talk, please?
So that was that.
What wonderful story. I mean, what wonderful insights. I mean, I was just thinking, I'm very lucky. I have two eye doctors with me, Dr. Kwesi and you. One who takes me through the color, and the other one who's giving me a vision of what India can be created about. I mean, it's about 1 carrot a day. Right now, with coronavirus and with less money, even more less money, I really, my heart goes out. That's all I can say. And it's like, let's all pitch in and do something, guys. We can't be just sitting in our living rooms thinking of killing ourselves and think we are useless. If each one of us sitting over here, whoever's listening to me, contributes, I'm sure we'll have a more strong world, not just India. So why can't we do it? Sarita, you needed to ask a question about lazy eyes. So can you please...
Yeah, hi Nivedita. I have a lazy eye problem in my
Sorry.
family from my mother's side. So, what can be
I
done
can't
to
hear
deal
you.
with? Can you hear me now?
A little better, yeah. Tell me, Sarita, you said you have a lazy eye problem.
I don't have it, but my
Okay.
sister have it, and my mother have it, and my nanny had it. So
Okay.
this is a problem, and I think my nanny's mother also had it. So what can be done to deal with this issue?
See, lazy eye, basically, what you mean is it's called amblyopia in our medical terminology. And amblyopia is basically
Your voice.
yeah, where basically there are different causes why an amblyopia develops or why you develop a lazy eye. Generally, it is seen that anisometropia, you have a number, a higher number in one eye, which goes unnoticed, which is not picked up. Okay, so the eye with the higher number gets suppressed, and the good eye is basically seen and suppressing the other eye. Okay, so what happens is that that eye is not putting in effort to see, and that eye becomes a lazy eye. So it's your one eye which is functioning. So when you're talking about running into families, yes, we have seen amblyopia to be running into families. Many people say, oh, my mother had it, my father had it. Okay, so it has a little bit of a genetic predisposition where it is seen to be there, and not all the siblings get it. Okay, not everybody, every child born to that mother is amblyopic. Some of them do get this amblyopia, and it's typically if it is in the right eye for the mother, it is seen the sibling or the child also has it in that eye, because it's the kind of refractive error that the child develops in the eye. And if picked up early, you are asking me how can it be. So once you know that it's there in your family and 2-3 generations have had it, see to it that the children in your family undergo an eye checkup very early. Don't wait, because see, if you pick it up before 8 to 10 years of your life, you can correct the eye, you can give that eye a refractive correction, and you can make that eye start functioning by patching the good eye. So when you start patching the good eye, you are forcing the other eye to start seeing. So in that case, we can correct amblyopia, lazy eye, to a greater extent if we pick it up very early. Otherwise, many times it goes unnoticed because one eye is functioning well, doing the job. Child doesn't realize it. By the time you go and have a checkup, most of the time the eye is not functional, and then it's labeled as a lazy eye, and there's nothing much you do about it. But I have seen many people with lazy eyes. We had, in fact, I've presented a paper in USA in 2015 on amblyopia, where I had a set of people right from the age of 15 to 55 we had in that study, and they were known cases of lazy eye and amblyopia, where we did patching therapies for them over a period of time, and we definitely saw improvement in the vision in the lazy eye too. So it's not end all and be all. You can still work on the lazy eye. And you ask me what can be done to deal with the, in a sense, what you can do is basically check eye checkups for the children in your families at the earliest. Okay, don't wait for them to grow up and become 10 and 12 years, and then you go and diagnose, and then you realize that they have a lazy eye. The earlier you pick up, the earlier you can work on it. Okay, so that is the way to kind of pick them up very early. And I don't know of meta health wise, what is Dr. Maybe
I
Dr.
would love Dr. Kwesi to give his view.
Yeah, why does amblyopia run in families, and what is the meta take on amblyopic eye? Could you throw some
It's
light?
amazing what the meta take is. And Dr. Kwesi had taught us ages back and given us a case study of a lady, and he's here, so why not listen from him? Dr. Kwesi, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wait, let me see if my video works. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, so it's, you could say it, first you have to find out is it the left eye, is it the right eye, so has it to do with the father's family or the mother's family. And even the numbers, that means the refraction, have a meaning. So everything that we experience and we can measure has a meaning. So I always look at the refraction. Is it myopia, presbyopia, not presbyopia, hyperopia, and astigmatism? That has a meaning. Then which eye? And what is behind it? It always has to do with the visual deletion, that something does not want to be seen. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's always behind it, and then it needs to get the context. That is the most challenging, to get the context. Yeah, but when you find out from which family it comes, and when I know the refraction, then we know the context. For example, if it's a high astigmatism has to do with feeling stressed, under constant tension, and feeling overwhelmed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. In the categorical language, it would be plus green and minus red. The same like rheumatism, for example. Yeah. So a lot of people who are very ambitious, who are under stress, and they might, because of the tension of the eye muscles, which are due to the stress, they might develop high astigmatism, and that can be behind an amblyopia. And then you have to find out where this family pattern comes from. So then you can go to the timeline of the family and find out where it comes from. If it's myopia, a high myopia, and that's behind the anisometropia, and then it has to do what you want to feel safe by being connected to something that is close to you. Yeah, for example, a colleague of mine in former East Germany, when it was still under communist regime, his father was taken away by the secret police. Yeah, and they were sitting at the dinner table, and that distance where his father was sitting was frozen in his eyes, and that was then his myopic refraction.
Okay.
Yeah, because he wanted to be connected to the father. Yeah, and with farsightedness, it can just be the opposite. I had a workshop in Norway years ago, and a young schoolboy, he was being attacked by a group, bullied by 4 or 5 guys. They jumped him. And he said, I want to be prepared the next time. I want to see them before they come and jump me. So he became farsighted. Yeah. And if that is a high refractive error that then leads to an amblyopia, in children, it means there must be a family pattern in that context. Yeah. Because the child, even though it was not born with it, but it developed this kind of refractive error in a very early age, and that led to this lazy eye. So that's very, very interesting to discover what kind of refractive error it is, and what's the meaning of it, and what is the pattern behind it. In my early years of MetaHealth, I had a very interesting case, an American lady who came to me through Richard Flood because she read his book, and she had -16.
Wow.
And you know, that's very high.
Yes.
Between -15 and -16. And I know that we have got some of you very powerful and elaborated women in the group here who are also working with tarot cards. Yeah. So the tarot card, the devil, is 15. Yeah. and what was behind it? Her father was one of the engineers or physicists who was connected to the atomic bomb that was thrown on Japan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was something that bothered her whole life. She became a musician and did peace concerts in Japan. Yeah, so that really made her feel, well, I wouldn't say a bad conscience, but she said, I have got a responsibility for something where my father took part that killed so many people. So so it's very interesting because each number of the refraction tells a story, and then you find out what is behind it. And I'm working like this, and you were a brilliant surgeon, and it's really fantastic what you are sharing. And I have to say, you are very brave. I know a lot of surgeons in Germany wouldn't have touched this 103-year-old man.
I'll share the photographs with you on your private this thing. I'll send you, but then believe me, I think I was also, my heart was in my mouth. I said, I don't know. I said, yes, I'm going to attempt it. And I was like, I really don't know. I was like so nervous to, get the guy on the table, and his head was continuously like this on the table. And I said, I don't know, what am I going to do?
Well, are you in the Guinness Book of Records with that?
No, I'm not. I'm not in the Guinness. Actually, it is worth sending it. Maybe probably 106. I don't know if anybody else is operated on 106-year-old.
You must put the photographs in the group, Neve. That would be really nice. Yes.
Yeah, I'll do that. Sure. Yeah.
Thank you, both of you. It's so amazing, and it's so. I hope you got your answer, Sarita.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, it will be nice to understand what your story is and to then connect with both these stories
Yeah.
and see what's really going on in your
Oh,
space.
I want to add
Yes.
one thing to the lazy eye, because what we learn at university is that there's no treatment. And what it is, we can say that we don't know what can be done yet. So there are some studies that have been performed in the past years, and scientists found out that certain computer games like Tetris, where people are very relaxed, are motivated, and really want to do well in the game, trained the lazy eye. And now there are even apps for Android and Apple on the market where you can do training for lazy eye. There are studies. One study from the McGill University, where your son studied in Canada, Toronto. Is it no Montreal? Where they found out that certain computer games, because the people are so motivated, they're so full of joy because they want to play, that they use the complexity of the brain, that the paths in the brain that go from the eye, from the retina to the visual cortex, which haven't been trained, that they can be retrained. Yeah. So.
But is it meant to be played with patching the good eye, the Tetris?
No, it's not. It's not meant with patching the good eye. You get special spectacles where the eyes are separated, so that each eye only sees a certain part. So that's why.
It's like, basically like a synaptophore.
Exactly.
Yeah, two different pictures and trying to. It's an exercise for the eye, like a synaptophore. Okay.
Yeah, and now it's something with virtual games, so that the eye, which has separated and can't see that well, it's so motivated because it's joy behind it. I want to play, that it gets trained.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So everybody who's interested, just go on the internet and look for Tetris for lazy eyes, but I don't know if the spectacles are yet on the market, because I think the scientists, they are now in the stage where they are going to market it. I did some research last year in March, last year in August, when I was asked about somebody, and I contacted the company in the US, and they said they haven't reached the stage where they have finished their product so that they can market it now. But their reports, the studies show good results, that playing Tetris just 2 times a day for 15 minutes is as effective as patching the eye half the day.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I need to find out more about this then.
I can send you a link.
Yeah, please.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Any other questions?
Play Tetris, and I don't mind, even if I'm not a myopic, I don't mind playing it.
Any other questions, guys? Anybody else? Any other questions? Okay. So thank you very much, Niv. Thank you
so much, Anu. It was a pleasure being here.
Can you also please put the photographs of 106-year-old?
Yeah, I'll do that. And I'll put that video also, which didn't play, unfortunately. I'll put it on the group.
And even the video of the yoga, so that we can hear it with the sound. And I will try incorporating it in the video, or at least I'll put them up as separate ones in some way. So that will kind of people have something to go back to. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
So much for supporting me.
Bye. Thank you.
We'll be back on the 3rd now with 2 new stories.
Lovely being here. Bye. Ciao. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Anu. Thank you.
बताओ बेटा क्या बताना था आपने?
Bye.
बेटा
बताओ